think we are on. Yes. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, everyone. We are on. I guess we're doing a little live stream this morning, and we are going to be talking about the prospect of war and taxes coming to the United Kingdom, and I guess coming to Europe on a whole. But guys, listen, new tax laws come out in the UK. Not tax laws, but new tax news has come out today in the United Kingdom. It's unbelievable. Even by my standards of unbelievability, this is absolutely wild, guys, okay? So we're going to be talking about that later today. We're going to be talking also about the fallout from this Trump, Zelensky, Putin, Keir Starmer, Macron, all the European leaders, and what that means for everybody. I'm going to focus now on the United Kingdom, guys. I know there's people watching from other parts of the world, but we are going to focus on what's happening in the United Kingdom because you know what, guys? I'm from the United Kingdom, the greatest. Can we call it? Are we the greatest country that there was ever? Are we the greatest country anymore, guys? Are we the greatest country? I mean, sometimes it doesn't really feel like we're the greatest country, does it? But so let's start with this new news then. That the in fact, let me just get it up on the screen. Hang on, give me a second. Where was it? In fact, hang on, give me a second, guys. I'll get this. That one. So Rachel Reeves plots a new property tax raid. So if you listen, guys, if you live in a house now, you're going to get taxed. There's going to be more tax for you. So Rachel Reeves is planning a new tax on houses now, but the new tax is not for. In fact, can you guys remember how they said they're not going to tax the working people? We're not gonna tax the working people. We're not gonna tax working people. We're not. No, we're not. We're only gonna tax them rich millionaires, and we're gonna take money off them millionaires who are they're living big life while all your lot are right skinned. Like, can you remember that? Well, it's clear now what they're doing. So you know how they said, you know how the government of the UK said they're not gonna tax the working people. Well, it's clear to me what they're gonna do. They're just going to change the definition of what a working person is. So now, guys, property tax. Rachel Reeves, I'll just read this and I'll give you guys what I think it is. Rachel Reeves plots a new property tax raid on all homes worth more than 500,000. Now, guys, look, in today's climate, like 500 grand is not. It's not like that's not a lot for a house. And a new local property tax. Now, Rachel Reeves has been accused of seeking to hit the middle-class homeowners. Guys, they're coming after the middle class. They're coming after the middle class. They want to destroy the middle class. They don't want a middle class. They want a lower class and an upper class. The upper class will be them. The lower class will be everybody else. They literally want proletariat and bourgeoisie. So this is going to be the new wealth tax, guys. So now if your house is worth more than £500 or £500, I guess. Sorry, not £500, £500,000, then, you know, you're classed as wealthy. Now this is in plans to shake up levies on property. The Chancellor said it's said to have ordered the Treasury officials to examine reforms to the current stamp duty system. It comes as she seeks to boost economic growth. So here's the thing, guys. Look, here's the thing. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm just a little bit, you know, maybe I'm just not as smart as Rachel Reeves. But like, they want to, where did it say there? You know, they want to bring growth, but they're just taxing people. So now you can imagine, right? You can imagine, let's just say you've done the impossible. Let's just say right now you have done the impossible in the United Kingdom. You've set a business up, you're earning money, you've done it grassroots, and you're starting to earn money. And you think, do you know what? I'm going to buy a house. If you buy a house that's over 500 grand, you're going to get extra taxes on it now. Well, potentially. And what she's saying is she's trying to, like, honestly, guys, because this gets me so angry. It gets me so angry. These are the things, like, you know, everybody wants to focus on, you know, Everybody wants to focus on these big movements. Putin's done this, Donald Trump's done this, but these are the little things. These are the big things, guys. People say like, oh, what, like talk about weapons of mass destruction. So like, how many people do you think are being like transcended to beams of light from nuclear weapons? How many? How many people do you think have been transcended to beams of light from nuclear weapons? And then how many people do you think have been transcended to beams of light from pistols and small arms? So which one of those is really, which one of those is really the weapon of mass destruction? Is it the big one that's never used? Or is it the little one? I'd say it's the little one. So Rachel Reeves is trying to boost economic growth by taxing you. So that's going to work well, isn't it? And plug the black hole in public finances estimated at 50 billion. Honestly, guys, it just gets me like, it's stuff like this. It's stuff like this that just makes me want to tap out and leave. Now, this tax, it's very peculiar. It's very peculiar because this tax, as I understand it now, this is going to be wild, guys, okay? This tax only applies to owner-occupied houses. What does that mean, Sean? What does that mean? Oh, am I gone on TikTok? Have I been kicked off? Right, well, we're still on YouTube, guys. We're still on YouTube, so we are still on. Are we still on? I think we're still on. Yes, we're still on. Sorry, guys. I thought I'd said something wrong then and got kicked off. It wasn't. It was just a signal. My signal has been bad the last couple of days. I don't know what it is. I know the YouTube looks okay at this point, guys. So as I understand it, this new tax, guys, this is only going to affect owner-occupied houses. So if you don't own, if somebody's renting that house, so say, for example, you've got a house and it's worth 500 grand and it's got owners of, it's got, what is it, occupants of multiple occupancy. It's a house of multiple occupancy. Then, as I understand it from reading this initially, and I may be wrong, guys, I'm just reading this initially, that tax wouldn't apply to you. So I wonder why that is. In fact, hang on, let me press some buttons on the screen. Give me a second, guys. I just need to press some buttons on the screen. Where are we? Where are we? Let me. In fact, while I'm pressing the buttons on the screen, I'll jump up and get a comment. Yeah, my computer is struggling this morning, guys, for some reason. I think it's because I'm working on that project for you guys. April Lee is saying good morning to you, April Lee. How is everyone? How is everybody coping with the summer holidays, guys? April Lee is saying, I can't afford to pay more tax. April, you are not alone. You are not alone, April. So do you know what? Maybe it'd be a good thing for you to join the army. Maybe that's the way they're doing it. Like, maybe join the army. If you join the army, you don't get taxed. It's unbelievable, isn't it, guys? And like every time I see these things, and I know I don't want to turn every live stream into like, into an into an anti-immigration live stream. But every time, guys, every time, it always marries up. It always marries up. It always marries up. So this tax on houses this new tax on houses worth over £500,000. This, as I understand it, guys, because there was a little thing said in the comment in the hang on. I read that this is so on this new tax, guys, to have houses. I read that this is only going to affect owner-occupied houses. So that to me, anyway, says that would not affect houses if they were not occupied by the owner. So to me, anyway, my rudimental understanding of this, and remember, guys, this has not been passed as a law yet. So to me, that would say that if you're renting your house out, you would not have to pay this tax. That's what he says to me anyway, guys. It is unbelievable, the amount of taxes. So, like, let's just have a little think, and let's just consider if these taxes are working. So when the Labour Party got in office, they said they found a 22 billion black hole. That's what they said, guys. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if the Labour Party didn't say that. They said, look, I know we said we're not going to raise taxes, but we're going to have to just raise taxes once. We're going to have to just raise taxes once because there's a 22 billion pound black hole. But after we've raised taxes once, that's it, guys. We got this. We got you. We dealt with this. It's all fine. Everything's good. It's all gravy. It's all gravy, fam. We're going to the candy shop. And then literally each and every time that there was an opportunity, taxes have been raised. And do you know how much the taxes have, do you know what good those tax raises have done? They've managed to get that 22 billion black hole down to a 50 billion black hole. So it's clear that raising taxes is not helping. It's unbelievable, guys. It's unbelievable. Debbie 1973 is saying good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. Jody Lee saying good morning, everyone. Tina Elliott saying good morning. Sharon Owen is saying good morning. Tina Elliott is saying good morning. D Marie Gen X, Four Paws. Kaz Dodsbra is saying, so the average working person now getting squeezed even further to pay for everyone else. It is, guys. You know how the government used to say that they're not going to, they're not going to tax the working people. They're not going to tax working people. We're not going to tax working people. We're only going to get them. We're only going to get them billionaires. We're getting them billionaires, and we're going to tax them billionaires. All they're going to do, all the government are going to do is change the goalposts of what they perceive, of what the government perceive a working person is. And as we move further down this road, and all the people with the means leave, because honestly, guys, I can do this anywhere. I can literally do this anywhere. Did you know, for example, I was talking to my friend in Ukraine the other day. Did you know that in Ukraine, you don't have to tax your car? You don't have to have it serviced every year as have a MOT every year. You can just drive. If your car breaks down in Ukraine, that's on you. I would much rather have that system. I mean, why are we getting? And I was thinking, why are we getting taxed? Why do we actually get taxed on our cars? Here in the UK, we just think it's the norm, don't we? It's it's just the norm. You just get taxed on your car. And I was thinking, why? Why do you get taxed on your car? Oh, it's the road tax. Yeah, but we pay taxes anyway. We've got road tax, and we've got a car tax, and we've got a wheel tax, and we've got an engine tax, and we've got VAT tax. We've got a tax. We've got a national insurance tax. Every time we buy something from the shop, we get taxed. I mean, what's next? I mean, are they going to tally up how much we get taxed? And for those people who pay more tax, they get an extra levy, or they get to pay more tax because they're being more taxed. Honestly, guys, what is the point in working? Literally, what is the point in working anymore? My friend, he was talking to, in fact, I'm going to go and see him in a bit, actually. If I can get this work finished. I was talking to my friend last night, and he's saying, look, Sean, I think our company's going to go bust. I said, what do you mean? He said, I think the company's going to go bust. I said, why are you saying that? He said, well, the health and safety guy's just gone, and they've not the health and safety guy's just gone, and they're not getting a new health and safety guy in. He was saying they've been needing some machinery are out of date, and they've just decommissioned them and not bought new machines. And there was something else as well. Oh yeah, the HR manager's just left as well. So the head of HR's just left, and they've not replaced the head of HR. They just have I don't know, HR reps now in each department. So they're kind of precursors of a company going, of a company on the downhill slope. If you've not replaced your health and safety guy, kind of a big, that's a big one. If you've not replaced your HR person, I don't know whether it's a man or a woman. I don't even know whether the health and safety guy was a man or a woman, actually. If you've not replaced those people, it's kind of a big combat indicator that you're not going anywhere good. But yeah, as Dogsbraw's saying there, guys, you know, the average working person is getting taxed and taxed and taxed. If you want to start a business in the United Kingdom and you want to, you know, if you've saved and saved and saved, you want to start a business and you want to take a risk, and you want to remortgage your house, and you think you've got an idea or a product or a service, and you want to push that forwards, you know, you want to risk everything for your business to make some money for you and your family, the government will take that money. But you know what? If you risk everything from your family and you lose it, that's on you. April Lee saying, I'm too old, I'm 51. April Lee, 51 is not old. April Lee, 51 is not old. All right? It's definitely not old. I like when I was in the military, you used to get you know, we used to get like guys come out who how do I put this? Experienced guys. They were experienced ex-military guys. They would come out and they were in their mid-50s. And they used to come out on the ground running about and, you know, driving, firing machine guns and all sorts of stuff. They were rock and roll. D-Marie Gen X is saying, hang on, let me pin this. D-Marie Gen X is saying, torture, trying to stay out of jail. Wine helps. I've got 4 kids, so it's mayhem here. Oh, I bet you're enjoying yourself, though, D-Marie Gen X. I bet you're enjoying yourself. Kaz is saying, I'm too old as well. I'm 53. I don't think that's going to matter, guys. I don't think that's going to matter. Candy Rocks. Let me pin this. Candy Rock. Did I pin that? Is your comment pinned, Candy Rocks? I can't. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Candy Rocks is saying, listen, guys, I know I don't want to turn this into like the, but it goes that way every day, doesn't it, guys? It goes that. I try and keep it away from that, but we always end up that way because I think that is how everybody's feeling. Candy Rocks is saying there's no black hole. There's always there's money laundering. Black hole needs to have Starmer thrown in it. Kaz is saying the government is scamming us. Sharon Owen is saying it's about time they stopped giving money away to other countries. Yeah, I mean, this Chagos deal, guys, this Chagos deal. You know this Chagos deal that David Lammy, he's not the best businessman, is he, David Lammy? I would speculate that, his business negotiation skills are a desired strength. If he went into a meeting and somebody said to him, David, what are your business skills like? What are your negotiating skills like? And he'd say, they're a desired strength. So David Lammy went to this meeting, you know, and he said, right, we've got the Chagos Islands. And they said, right, okay, who owns the Chagos Islands? And he said, well, they're our islands. And then they said, right, what are we going to do, David? And David said, right, I've got an idea, guys. I've got an idea how we can grow our economy, how we can make more money out of these. And he said, right, we're going to give the Chagos Islands away and we're going to pay $3.5 billion a year for the privilege of giving them away. What? Yes, that's what we're going to do. Now, look, guys, I don't know the ins and outs of it. I don't know if they're getting more money off the United States or I don't know what, but on the outside, it looks very peculiar. It's just unbelievable. So that is like imagine you and your neighbors, all right? Imagine you and your neighbor. Just imagine this, guys. Imagine you live there and there's 2 semi-detached houses. Just imagine this, right? And you've got one entry point. You've got one road that leads onto the main road. Imagine you and your neighbor have. Do you know what? No, in fact, imagine you own that. Imagine you own that and you let your neighbor use it. And then you go over to your neighbor and you say, John, can I give you this road? And John says, but Sean, how will you get out if you give me that road? And then I say, but John, I'll give you the road and then I'll pay you a monthly rental to use it. What? Yeah. So hang on a minute, Sean. So let me get this right. You own the road at the moment and you don't pay any rent on it and it's yours to do what you want. Yes. But you want to give it me and then pay me rent so that you can use it? Yes. I mean, I kind of, there's, you know, the movie Austin Powers, like the first one, where he's playing blackjack at the casino. He's playing blackjack at the casino, and one of Dr. Evil's henchmen, I think it's number 2. So number 2, he's got the X-ray goggles on him. He can see the cards, and he gets like, he turns and he gets like a 17, and then he looks at the next card, and it's like he sees it's a 2 or a 3 or something, and he says, "Hit me," and he says, "But sir, you have 17," and he says, "I like to live dangerously," like. And then he turns it and everybody's clapping. And then he's like, yes, yes, yes. And then Austin Powers gets dealt his cards and he gets 21 off the bounce. So he's won. And then Austin Powers says, "Hit me." And he says, "But sir, you have 21. And he looks at the camera and he goes, "I also like to live dangerously." That's kind of what I feel our politicians are like now. And then he turns him and then obviously he's lost. It's crackers, guys. Absolutely crackers. Candy Rocks is saying energy bills, water, council tax, also big scams. They are, guys. Listen, the amount of taxes that are in the UK at the moment, it's unbelievable. Listen, guys, listen, guys, I've been on for a while, haven't I? Can you guys do those things for me, ladies and gentlemen? We are triple streaming today. I've been away with the fairies, just chatting to you guys. We're triple streaming, ladies and gentlemen. We're on TikTok, we're on YouTube, we're on X. Can you please show your support on all platforms, guys? Do the things that help this channel grow. If you're watching on YouTube, the buttons are down there. The like, the comment, the subscribe buttons. If you guys are watching on TikTok, the buttons are up there. The follow and I don't know what other buttons they are. And if you're on X, if you're watching on X, I genuinely have no idea where those buttons are. But can you press them? Deamery Gen X is saying the amount of people forced to sell to downsize to cheaper houses will be epidemic when this kicks in. Yeah, it's like, guys, it's like, but look, guys, the terrifying thing here is this tax, as I understand it, only affects owner occupied houses. So if you've got a £500, like £500,000 house, and that's used as a house of multiple occupancy, and you're not the owner, this tax isn't going to affect you. Laurie C is saying, good morning. Candy Rocks is saying, Kaz, I'm 53 and single. I'm moving country. So Candy Rocks is 53 and she's moving. Tina's saying, morning all. Kaz is saying, Candy. Oh, right. Okay. People talking among themselves. K Ring is saying, and we fought for Argentina. Yeah, listen, guys. I mean, it seems the Falkland Islands. I think you're referring to there, K Ring. So look, guys, like the Falkland Islands, that is a big one for me. The amount of oil off the coast of the Falkland Islands, like we like the United Kingdom, we should be the most energy-rich country in the world. We're sat on oil deposits in the Falkland Islands that are bigger than the Saudi Arabia, almost twice as big as Saudi Arabia's oil reserves. So I don't know, guys. Do we look at Saudi Arabia and say those guys are skint? Do we look at Saudi Arabia and think, oh, those guys have got no money? I would say if Rachel Reeves really is serious about wanting to plug this 50 billion black hole and not turning it into 100 billion black hole, then I'd say what she needs to do is get rid of taxes, go get the oil. That's all you need to do, Rachel. Get rid of taxes, go get that oil. Linda Lou saying, good morning, Sean. Good morning to you, Linda Lou. Google it is saying UK backs down in Apple privacy law, US says. Yeah, I mean, it's been quite funny because the United Kingdom have been sending threatening letters to companies in America over this Online Safety Act. Right, guys, listen, let me get the headlines again. Let me get the headlines, ladies and gentlemen. So the new housing tax, oh, hang on. So this is the thing, guys, right? What Rachel Reeves is going to do, they're going to say, oh, whoa, guys, this is huge. This is huge. I'm reading this now, guys. Wow. Wow. So listen, guys, if your house, ladies and gentlemen, if your house is worth more than £500,000, I'm just going to read this, guys. I'm just going to read this. The think tank also recommends a local proportional property tax levied on houses valued up to £500,000 with a minimum annual payment of £800. So now, as I don't know if I'm reading that right or I'm understanding it, but if your house is up to £500,000, you're going to get hit by an extra £800 a year tax. That's unbelievable, guys. It's a second. That's literally a second mortgage, I guess. It's crazy, absolutely crackers. Like how, like what, like how much more how much more taxes can we pay? Literally, I mean, most people right now, guys. Like, tell me if you're in this boat. Tell me if you're in this boat. You go to work Monday to Friday, and you're literally paying for you're paying for energy. You're paying for gas, you're paying for electric, you're paying for petrol or diesel in your car, you're paying taxes, and then you look at what's left of it. You're like, right, I'm going to have to try and put some food on the table. You try and put some food on the table. It's honestly, guys, it's unbelievable the amount of people this is affecting. It's crazy. Sorry, guys. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the news of the day, the urgent warning of the day, guys. War and taxes. They are coming to the United Kingdom, guys. Okay, war and taxes. So I'm just going to give you guys a quick synopsis of what happened last night in this with this Trump Zelensky, not Putin, Trump Zelensky. Trump Zelensky, all the European leaders, all these meetings, all this pomp and pageantry, guys. Like, what happened yesterday was exactly what I said would happen. They had some meetings. They said the meetings are fine, and they need to talk to Putin now. So what Vladimir Putin, I believe, is going to do is just going to kick the can down the road, guys. And the problem here is people don't understand how this works. People don't understand how this works. You know, like, if you've got nothing good that can come out of a meeting, why are you going to go to that meeting, guys? Why are you going to go to that meeting? Why would you go to that meeting? So if you're going to, I don't know, and you can take this in your private life as well, guys. You know, if you've got, I don't know, if you've got a neighbor, for example, and he's wanting you to move your fence, I don't know, I'm just making this up, guys. If you've got a neighbor or something and they want you to move your fence, or they want to do something, you don't really want to do that, just say to them, just take a leaf out of Putin's book, guys. Just say to them, yes, I'm going to do that. I want to do that. I want to help. Can't really see you, though, until Friday. Always make it on a Friday because everybody cuts away early on a Friday. And then when they don't get back to you on a Friday for whatever reason, and they phone you up next week, just say, oh, yeah, I was ready to have that meeting on Friday, mate. I'm not going to be able to make it this week. I'm away. And just keep delaying and delaying and delaying and delaying and delaying. And eventually, guys, trust me, they will forget. They will forget. Jody Lee is saying people are living paycheck to paycheck these days. I agree. Kaz is saying it's costing people money to work. It is, Kaz. It's costing people money to work. Linda Lou is saying, we renters, husband retires 28th of August. I don't work, but no benefits, not a big pension. So worried. Listen, guys, I would be worried as well. Like right now, like what's the incentive to work? What is the incentive to work? I mean, you're not even going to listen, I'm saying this historically. I'm not saying this negatively. I'm saying this historically. So we had allegedly, I don't know, I didn't see the numbers, but in the United Kingdom, there was apparently a 22 billion. Oh, hang on. Tina's talking about water mains off in Salford. Let me just Google this real quick. Okay, so water mains burst in Salford in Manchester, obviously, just outside Manchester. Get off. No, I don't. Water first started pouring down Langley Road following what was a suspected leak. Right, okay, guys. So as I understand it, there's been a big water leak in Salford on Langley Road. I don't know where that is, obviously, causing the residents of the street to become flooded and forcing cars to turn around following what was a suspected leak. Video footage shows the street in Pendlebury heavily flooded with rising water seen near homes and the car park outside a business nearby Agecroft Cemetery was also waterlogged with a path equally flooded. So it looks like there's been a big water leak in Salford yesterday with an investigation launched into the leak. So that's interesting that they're saying they're launching an investigation into the leak. If they knew it was a leak and they knew it was a burst pipe, that they would say it was a burst pipe, but because they're saying it's I'll just read it here, guys. So United Utility engineers were called out to the scene and apologized for the inconvenience. Well, that's nice of them. We apologize for the inconvenience. On Monday afternoon, with an investigation launched into the report of a leak. Now, if that was a burst pipe, if that was clearly a burst pipe, you would expect those engineers, when they go there, to say, oh, yeah, that's a burst pipe. However, if the engineers get there and they see a load of holes and a couple of metal drill bits laid on the floor and a DeWalt drill, you would think, we need to do an investigation into this, whether this was a natural occurrence or not. So I would speculate that we're heading into these new times of, what's the word I'm looking for? Sabotage, asymmetric warfare, non-conventional warfare. Oh. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Tina, I missed that comment. Candy Rocks is saying, is the Online Safety Act not applying to Apple phones? I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's just really strange because, how does this online safety thing even work? I mean, look, guys, let's be clear. I believe that this online safety thing, it's all about just being able to turn off the internet as and when they want. And ladies and gentlemen, can you put in the comments, if you're, guys, listen, for the subscribers, can you put in the comments, are you happy, for example, that the government can read your WhatsApp messages, that the government can literally just look at your phone and read your messages? Are you happy that that's happening? I know I don't have it. I don't have anything to hide, and I've been hacked a few times by security services. I've got nothing to hide. I've got some very peculiar stuff on my phone and on my hard drives, but none of it's stuff I want to hide, and all of the stuff is stuff when I've been working with governments. So I don't have anything to hide. And I've been hacked a few times. Or what's the word you're looking for? Not hacked. They call it. When somebody's looking at you? Authenticated or something. I don't know. Secure, vetted. I've not been hacked. Guys. I've been vetted. Right. I've been vetted a few times, which is basically when you get hacked, but then the government hack your stuff. So I've got nothing to hide, but even still, I'm just when I've been vetted by the security services, I don't mind that. I genuinely don't mind that because I know they're doing it for a good reason. I know that in my previous jobs, I've been in roles where I've had access to sensitive information, and I totally get that. I get that. I'm like, yeah, do what you want, guys. I've got nothing to hide. I mean, literally nothing to hide. But the problem is, when this is being done routinely, I mean, it was only the other day when HMRC had to let some of their staff go because they were using the systems to spy on people or something. So the problem here is when you open this up to everyone without having insight, it's got mass amounts of corruption or just literally Karen in accounts, she's got a new boyfriend and she wants to look on his phone. Or John from admin, he's got a new girlfriend and he wants to check her phone. Like literally, that is what it opens it up to, guys. And I don't know about you, but I'm just not me personally. Although I've got nothing to hide, I just don't feel right with that the government has the right to snoop through our messages as and when they choose. It just doesn't feel right, guys. It just doesn't feel right. Googly is saying that's a joke. It means most of the working class. Yeah, guys, look, we're talking here about this new house tax in the United Kingdom that's going to affect everybody. Well, it's going to affect you if your house is worth 500 grand. Candy Rocks is saying that's another reason to go. Then we will have to sell. Yeah, but April, listen, the tax does not affect you, as I understand it, if your house isn't owner occupied. So if you rent that out to, I don't know, if you've turned that into a house of multiple occupancy, I would suspect, I don't think it operates to you guys. Sean, can you repeat that? I missed that. Oh, Doddsbrow, what, Doddsbrow, what Doddsbrow? Can you tell me what I need to repeat? I may have missed it. Google is saying stop paying council tax. I don't think you can stop paying council tax. People get sent, well, I mean, you can do what you want, you're adults. Like legally, I don't think you can stop paying council tax. Like people get sent to prison for that. It's costing people money to work, Kaz says. Jody Lee is saying people are living paycheck to paycheck. I agree. Tina Elliott says they say it's a complex situation. Right, Tina, are we talking about the flood, the burst, the pipe in Manchester? Are we talking about the pipe in Manchester, guys? Google is saying, I'm going to go on the British benefit system. I'm already a British citizen. I'm entitled to such. So one of the things I said a long time ago, guys, and nobody was listening to me. Nobody was listening to me. One of the things I said, like over a year ago, I said, right, guys, what everybody needs to do en masse, everybody needs to quit their job, stop working, stop working, and get yourself, like, just apply for on the benefit system. That's what everybody needs to do, and just say, no, we're not working. I'm not working. But the problem is people won't do that. People will let pennies and pennies and pennies and pennies be taken off them until they're working. They're like working their fingers to the bone, and people who are not working are literally getting more than them. That's what's happening, guys. But people just won't do it. I spoke to my friend about that, and he said, "Oh no, I'm not doing that. It'll all boil over. It'll all boil over." But look, guys, we are living in times like absolutely unprecedented times, and this is why you know what resets everything, guys. You know what resets everything? A good old fashioned WW3. Candy Rocks had a message from Welsh Water saying we apologise for no water. Oh, and did you have no water, Candy Rocks, or was it? Or did you still have water and not notice? Snowdrops is saying no, I'm not. I don't know what that was in. And then oh right, okay, right, okay, so right, okay, so we're all right, okay, so yeah, so Candy Rocks, Snowdrops, Tina, Four Paws, Googly. Everybody's saying we're not happy with the government just having the ability to read our WhatsApp messages. I'm not either, guys. I nothing to hide. I just don't like the thought that somebody, I don't know what their name would be, but somebody in an office somewhere, as I understand it, can just think, oh, I'm just going to have a look through Sean's messages, see who he's been talking to. See what he's getting up to. Oh, I'm just going to have a look at Googly's messages, see what he's getting up to. Oh, yeah. Let's see what Four Paws is doing this weekend. See where he's going. Ah, look. Four Paws went out with his friends on Friday, but he said he hasn't got any money, right? Get him in, use facial recognition on the pubs, find out what he was drinking, and then tax him on that drink. You know, it's just, it just doesn't sit right with me, guys. That, like, I mean, would you would you have, I mean, we've probably already got them, haven't we, with our phones, but would you have, like, would you accept for, like, a guy from the council to come out and sit in your house, and when you said, well, what are you doing here? And he just says, oh, I'm just listening to what you're talking about. You'd be like, oh, well, that's a bit intrusive. That's kind of like what we're letting happen. Snowdrops is saying it's not about privacy, not that any of us have aught to hide. Well, listen, guys, I can only speak for myself. I don't know about you lot, but I know I've got nothing to hide. I've been vetted like I've been vetted 3 times quite intrusively, and I've always passed my vetting. Oh, Tina Elliott is saying, can you all tap the screen for Sean? He works so hard to bring us all so much help and information. Polls help your page as well, says Candy Rocks. How do I do a poll? I don't know how I do a poll. Should I do a poll? Snowdrops is saying they want control. Tina Elliott saying, yes, Sean. Okay, so the water was off. Candy Rocks is saying, yeah, the water was off for 2 hours. Googly saying, who's ready for online tax? The more you're online, the more you're on your electronics, the more tax you pay. Yeah, look, guys, taxes are coming. This new tax on houses worth 500 grand are unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable. Googly saying, toilet tax, breathing tax, walking tax. Yeah, fitness tax. The fitter you are, the more you're going to get taxed, because obviously you're not eating junk food, so you're not spending money on the junk food taxes, so you need to be taxed another way. 4 paws, thanks, Sean. I'm a lady, you know. Oh, sorry, 4 paws. Sorry, 4 paws. Some of you guys have got names, and I don't know what the they don't denote whether you're male or female. I do apologize. Snowdrops is saying, I bet the MP wouldn't like it if we could read their messages. No, I agree. And I think a lot of those would be out on the swizzle as well. D-Marie Gen X is saying, I don't know my combos after a bit of wine could be a near legal. Yeah, so like, here's the thing, guys. So here's the thing. Like, if you say something to your friend, like, for example, like me and my friends, when we were getting vetted and we'd phone each other up, we would just say like really bad keywords on the phone to each other. So like for the first couple of seconds, we would just be saying, you know, the really bad keywords that you guys are thinking of that you're not supposed to say. We would just literally say that, like, you know, for the first like 5 or 10 seconds. And then we just start talking. Just we knew we were getting vetted. So like, how can you take that into context? Like, how do you put this in context? So like, you know, I often send my friend things like, you know, odd, peculiar things. And he will, you know, but you've got to put them in context. Like, what are these messages being sent and what is the context in those messages? You know, is it guys just messing about? You know, because you wouldn't you? Like, if you knew all the messages were being checked and vetted, you would send your mates really weird stuff, so they will get into trouble. You'd be like, mate, stop sending me that stuff. The messages are getting read. So, like, then who's in trouble? Like, who's in trouble? Is it the sender? Is it the receiver? Does there need to be an investigation into that person? You can see that it's just unbelievable, guys. It's unbelievable. And Google is saying a TikTok tax. Yeah, maybe there's a TikTok tax. Listen, guys, I do know that, you know, how the government were trying to ban TikTok. I do know that the scraping algorithms do not work with. I do know the scraping algorithms do not work with TikTok, guys. They do not work with TikTok. So, what a scraping algorithm is, if you guys don't know, in fact, there's quite a few of them. So, a scraping algorithm would be you make yourself a. So, for example, say you make yourself a Facebook profile or whatever. I don't know, Google Facebook UK. You make that profile and then you buy one of these scraping apps. And then once you log on with your profile, you can use that scraping app then as a third-party app to go through your profile and find information, keywords, all that information that's readily available, you can scrape that off the internet. You can't do that with TikTok. The coding or the algorithm in TikTok does not allow you to do that. So it kind of makes sense why the government would want to ban TikTok, because they can't draw information from it. Now, I don't know if that's changed. I don't know if that's the same anymore, but I do know that that is a thing. And I do know that at least TikTok was the only platform that you couldn't scrape from. Maybe other people could scrape from it, but most Western governments could not scrape from TikTok. Right, guys, I'm going to jump over to YouTube a second because there's quite a few comments jumped up on YouTube. Colin Stedman is saying, if Rachel from Accounts puts this new tax in place, it will put people on the march, and the summer of carnage will extend into the winter of doom and civil unrest. You see, this is the thing, guys. They're saying they're not going to, the government are saying they're not going to tax the working people. All they're doing is changing the goalpost to what working people is. So now, if you own a house that's like 500 grand, which is like a lot of people own a house over 500 grand. If you own a house, how does that work? Like, here's the thing, guys. So how does that work as well? Because if you live down south, you get like what? You get like a 1-bedroom apartment. If you live like where we live, you get like a lot more than a 1-bedroom apartment for 500 grand. So like, how does that work? Like literally, how does that work? Because the comparisons of 500 grand are vastly, what's the word I'm looking for? 500 grand in different regions gets you a lot different. So how is that going to work? And how is that even going to be fair? Oh, so apparently, Chair on TikTok, not on TikTok, on YouTube is saying there's another in Cragglestone. People had to move out. So it does look like, ladies and gentlemen, listen, guys, can we all have a look around? Because I'm getting quite a few reports this morning that water pipes have been burst or there's been water leaks. Quite a few people are putting messages in saying the water's gone off, water pipes have been burst. Quite a few media are reporting on this. Could this be a coordinated attack right now, guys? Could we be looking at the first coordinated water attack? I have been saying that this is coming, guys, because a water attack is so easy to do, guys. It is so easy to do. Wreck that water attack. Tracy McKibben is saying they couldn't read Rishi Sunak's WhatsApp messages in the COVID inquiry. Oh. What do you mean? They were encrypted or they weren't allowed to read them? But look, guys, there's so much crazy stuff going off in that time. Like, we kind of forget, don't we? We kind of forget what happened. Like, we kind of forget what happened really quickly because we're getting taxed and there's so much other stuff to happen. Like, it's really strange how quickly people forget stuff. And this is why I say, and people say that Labour, let me just caffeinate myself, guys. Let me caffeinate myself. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been on for an hour, almost an hour now. I'm going to just nip off screen and caffeinate myself. We are talking about war and taxes. These things are synonymous, guys, okay? The situation in Ukraine is getting worse and worse and worse. There's no realistic peace talk. There's no realistic peace outline available, guys. It's just not on the cards. And also the new taxes that are apparently coming in, whereby that is going to affect you if your house is worth £500,000 or more, which is a lot of people, guys. I'm just going to jump off screen and caffeinate myself, ladies and gentlemen. Can you guys keep tapping that screen? Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll be back in a minute. Oh, I'm stretching my legs. And I'm back. And I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Fully caffeinated, might I say. Fully caffeinated. Fully caffeinated. Yes, Googly, it was a big stretch. It was a big stretch. So Google is saying, what's the new local property tax as well as the home tax? So there's a new, so guys, listen, there's a ton of new taxes that are being proposed at the moment. So basically, if you own a house, you're going to get taxed more. If you have the audacity and racism to own your own house, because that's, if you're far right and you own your own house, you're going to get taxed. You're going to get taxed, guys, because if you own your own house, you're far right, you're racist, and you're bigoted. That's the reality now, guys. If that happens, that's that is clearly what's coming. So if you have the audacity to own your own house, to work hard, pay taxes, put your money in your houses, save, you're going to get taxed more. You're going to get taxed more. Hang on, guys. Yeah, so you are going to get taxed more. So this new property tax, as I understand it, everybody, if your house is, look, guys, and remember, this is what I'm just reading on the internet. These taxes have not come to place yet. But as I understand it, if your house is worth up to £500,000, I think it's 250 to 500. If your house is worth 250 to 500, then you're going to get an extra £800 a year tax. I think that's what it's going through as, guys. I think that's one of the things that are going through. But remember, guys, these things are not in law yet. It's not happened. Although, when the government do these big shotgun taxes, everybody complains and complains and complains. Then they get watered down and you still get a tax. It's just not as severe. And then people think they're winning. Hang on, guys. People are trying. Listen, guys, if you're watching and you want to jump on, I can't just let you come onto the live stream, okay? Send me an inbox message. Tell me what you want to talk about and we'll make it happen. All right. So like Abdullah, who just tried to get on, Abdullah, my friend, I'm happy for you to come on, but you need to let me know you're coming on and what we're going to talk about. Google is saying, over the long term, a local property tax could also be introduced to replace council tax. Yeah, so that's why, I think that's what we're talking about, guys. The new tax whereby if you own a house that's between 250 and 500, you're going to get an extra £800 tax. I don't know what it is after that. But remember, these taxes only come in, I understand, if they're owner occupied. You see how they're trying to get you to sell your houses or rent, or get people to rent your houses. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, remember that thing, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. I don't know. Does it seem like we're heading down that direction? April Lee is saying the government are out of touch with what people own. You are right, April Lee. Tina Elliott is saying, yeah, the water company have said it's a very complex issue. So I don't know, guys. Look, I can't call it yet because I don't have enough information. But do we think we're sat here and we have had the first? Do we think we're sat here and we have had the first coordinated attack on our water system? I'm getting a lot of reports, ladies and gentlemen, that people all over the country, the water's off. Burst pipes, messages saying sorry for the water being off. I think this big one here from Tina Elliott, the water company have said that it's a very complicated issue. Look, guys, I've said so many times that our water system is ridiculously vulnerable, ladies and gentlemen. It is. Like, I know, like, I keep saying I'm going to go and do a video, but I just don't. I probably will do it. Like, I know where there's water pipes, like, just exposed water pipes, through woodland, and they go over like a little valley. They're not exposed huge, but they're exposed water pipes. Like, I know that I could walk up to that water pipe. I know I could walk up to it. I know that I can go to like Screwfix or whatever, and I can buy a DeWalt drill. I know I can do that, guys. I know I can do that. I know there's no checks. There's no there's no checks on somebody buying a DeWalt drill. I also know I can buy a metal drill bit. I know I can buy them because I bought them before when I was doing when I had to do some modifications to a beer keg. So I know I can buy these. And I know that those drills will go through those metal pipes. I know for a fact. Yeah, it was a big stretch, Google it. It was a big stretch. Sometimes it was a big stretch of the imagination. Snowdrops is saying the mayor of London saying Keir hasn't done a good job in his first year, though thought there was mates. Well, maybe he's not. Maybe he's. Gee, guys, give me a second. My phone's going crackers. Give me a second. Sorry, guys. Sorry. It's that time of year. It's that time of year. I'm out on the scrounge for wood. Anybody that's got a fallen tree, anybody that's got wood that's dried somewhere, I am all over that, guys. I'm all over that. So my dad's been ringing me like 3 times and he's got some more wood for me to go and help him with. Sorry, guys. I thought it like I didn't know if it was an emergency or anything. It's not. It's wood. I said I'll just call you back in a bit. Dean Gen X is saying, we'll own nothing and be happy. BlackRock is allowing Invest UK pensions pot. They got 50 million already. Yeah, guys, listen, I don't think pensions are going to be a thing, guys. I really don't think pensions are going to be a thing in the next 10, 15 years. I think it's going to be gone. It's going to be over. Universal basic income is going to be there. Universal basic income, universal basic finance, the crypto pound, the Brit card, the Britcoin, something like that is coming, guys. But mark my words, that is coming. 4 Paws are saying we hit 50,000. Thank you, everybody. So I guess we're an international live stream. We're an international live stream. Tina Elliott says, I took your advice a good while ago, Sean, and started buying water as and when I could. Yeah, well, thank you, Tina. Thank you, Tina. So look, guys, and this goes to everyone, all right? Everyone. And it's still true. The water system in the UK is ridiculously vulnerable, guys, all right? My first videos, and listen, guys, I give you my own stuff. I don't listen to other people. I don't look around and think, oh, what's trending today? I'm going to roll with that. I don't give you guys that. I give you my own stuff, my own opinion, my own speculation, my own analysis. The water system in the UK is broken. We don't invest in reservoirs, guys. We don't invest in reservoirs. We do not invest in reservoirs, all right? So you think about all these new people coming to the United Kingdom. We can argue about it as much as we want. The fact is they're coming. Each and every one of those new people is turning the tap on. They are, guys. They're drinking water. They're washing. Well, maybe some of them are washing. They're flushing the toilet. They're using water. That water has to go through a system, and that system has had no internal investment for maybe 30 years. So they're still using the system that was built over 30 years ago. Some of these pipes are over 100 years old. So with these international investors just scraping money out of the UK, they're not rebuilding that infrastructure. So that infrastructure will and has failed. Google it is saying, Sean, when's the Summer of Carnage going to turn into riots? I'm not seeing the capacity, Google it. I am not seeing the capacity that I thought would be here. I knew there'd be protests this year. I knew there would be masses of people out on the streets. I'm not seeing the capacity that it will turn into the pitched riots that I thought it would be. But listen, guys, the fact that that's not happened makes it worse, because if that happened, there may be some pushback. There may be some help. But because that's not happened, it just means that migration is going to continue. Because let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, if you're earning a ton of money, why would you stop? If you're earning a ton of money, why would you stop? Oh, some peasants are complaining by one of the hotels. Is it costing us? No. It's actually costing the taxpayers because the police are dealing with it. Oh, right. Don't worry about it then. Don't worry about it. You see where I'm going with that, guys? Right, ladies and gentlemen, I've been on for an hour. I'm about to switch over to YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, guys, for the subscribers, I'm still working on that subscribers only live on Friday. I think we said 6 o'clock, I'm working really hard on something behind the scenes, guys, and I want to give it to you on Friday. I may have to delay that. So because, and the reason I'm saying this is, if I need to get it to you on Friday, that means I need to finish it tomorrow. And you'll understand where I'm going with this once I present it to you. And I'm really struggling at the moment, guys. It's a lot more complicated than I initially expected. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this down now on TikTok. I will be open on YouTube. I'll be open on YouTube for a little bit, and then we'll close that down again. And then I'm going to go with my dad, and I'm going to get some more wood for the log burner. Dodsbra is asking for a clue. Dodsbra's saying, can you give me a clue about this surprise live? We've spoke about it today. And I think it's awesome. That's all I can say, guys. That's all I can say. We spoke about it today, and I think it's awesome. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close TikTok down now. I'll be back on at 8 or just before 8 or maybe a little bit before, I don't know. But I will be back on tonight, guys. I'll be over on YouTube for the next couple of minutes, and I'll close that down, and then I will be going to get some more logs. Lilandi's been taken down apparently, and I'm going to go and get those logs. Anyway, guys, I'll see you later. Get some water. And we are off, ladies and gentlemen. We are off, and we are just with you guys now. We're just with you guys on the on YouTube and X. We're just streaming with YouTube, and we are streaming with X. Right? Do I need to click the screen here? No, I don't. Right. Rob Abbott is saying home equality tax. It's crackers, isn't it, guys? Like, it's crackers. How can you tax people more? It's like taxes for taxes' sake. For now, he's saying people don't realize, even in government, you have a true workmate unless you are in the military. People don't realize you are, even in government, you don't have a true workmate unless you are in the military. Yeah, I think, I mean, when I first left the military in what was it? 2011, I think it was. Yeah, it was definitely 2011, Christmas 2011. Sorry, it wasn't. I left in Christmas 2010, but you get you get to go home a month. You get your leave. You get you get a month early, so you get to leave a month early. So I left in Christmas, but my actual site, I was still officially in the army until I don't know, January or something. 2011. Anyway, doesn't really matter. And the first thing I noticed, I learned the hard way. When you go into business, it is brutal. Business is brutal, guys. Business is brutal. When you're in the military, people do things for you. People work for you. You know, you can ask if you're in the military, you say John, I need X, Y, and Z by Monday at 0400. He'll be like, yeah. And if he says yes, I can do that, he will move heaven and earth to get that to you. That will happen. You try that in business. Guys. It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible. I had a guy come out for me, and he not in business, but I wanted some electric gates. But I wanted it so that the electric gates could be operated manually. And when I was inside those electric gates, I wanted to be able to put a manual lock on them. So just you couldn't open them with the fob. Because obviously fobs can be hacked. Anyway, he came out with his van, Sheffield Electronic Gates R Us or something. So he came out in his van, he measured everything up. I think he said it would be $7,000 or something. So I'm like, yep, definitely, mate. Absolutely. When can you start? He says, well, I need to send you an invoice, and then you need to give me a deposit so I can buy the parts, and then I'll come. I said, right, can you do it now? Because I can give you the money now. He said, no, I'd have to go home and do this on the computer and send it me. I said, right, mate. I said, can you not do it now? Because I'm here, I want it, and I want to give you the money. Anyway, it never happened. He just ignored me. And I thought, It's so hard to get people to work. It's so hard to get people to do stuff. So even when somebody comes out and that's their business, that's their core business, they tell you how much something. I didn't even haggle. I didn't even try and barter him down with the price. I just went, yeah, let's do it. Let's get it done. But yeah, it's really difficult. And then in business, when you leave the military and you're dealing with people in business, guys, that is absolutely brutal as well. Everybody is trying to steal your money. You know, the best business advice I've had is, there's two ways I can say this. I'll say the polite way. Everybody wants your money and nobody wants to give you their money. And that's what business is like. Everybody is trying to, like, when you go to these meetings, everybody's just trying to steal your money off you. And it's unbelievable. April Lee is saying, trust me, I find it difficult asking for a small report. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And you don't get, when you're in the, well, certainly like when I was in the military, you just didn't get that. You would tell somebody to do something and it would get done. And when you come from that, I guess, sphere, and then you're asking people to do stuff, and then they're like, oh, yeah, I was poorly, because that winds me up, guys. That winds me up. Oh, I was poorly. Oh, I felt sick. Oh, I had to do this. Oh, I had to do this. Guys, it makes my blood boil. It makes my blood boil. I only work with military or ex-military now, guys. I just won't work with I can't work. Do you know what? That's wrong, actually. I do work with some civilians and they're pretty rock and roll. But you know, a lot of people just don't want to work. A lot of people don't want to put that extra. A lot of people just don't want to go that extra mile. Sharon Owen is saying, I know what the surprise is on Friday. Rachel Reeves is going to be your guest. I don't think she'd last 2 minutes with me, guys. I don't think she'd last 2 minutes with me. I'd blow her mind. Omfg says 4 pause. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I'm just going to give you a quick synopsis of what's been happening, and then we'll close this down as well. So, war and taxes, guys. It is a warning. It is on the way. They are here. These peace talks, peace negotiations, whatever people want to call them, they're not going to have an effect in with this conflict in Ukraine. All Putin's going to do is kick the can down the road. He's been doing it, like you guys can remember now. It's been, I mean, we're coming up to a year now. We're coming up to a year since, in fact, it may even be a year. It may even be a year since Donald Trump said, I will stop the war in Ukraine within 24 hours. I won't even wait till I'm being elected. So it's been almost a year. I could argue, and statistically, the war is worse than ever. Certainly more loss, certainly more drone attacks, certainly more land loss. So where did that come from? And if you are on the Russian side, there's no incentive for you to have a ceasefire. You're taking more ground every day. Why would you have a ceasefire? There's nothing. You've got to understand as well, guys, in Ukraine right now, there's nothing strategic for Putin to hide behind. There's nothing strategic for Putin to take. So, like, you've got to take these big industries. You've got to take these big mines, these big pieces of infrastructure, the gas wells in Poltava, the nuclear facility in Zaporizhia, the Zion, is it Zion or Zion, the Zion gas production in Kremenchuk, the heavy steel manufacturing in Dnipro. They're the things that you would want to take if you're in a war. Like, I don't think Putin came to Ukraine to take some fields. Like, what is the significance of those fields? Yeah, you got some nice fields and you got some nice land, but there's nothing in it. So until the Russians have got up to the river Dnipro, guys, it's all pomp and pageantry. Absolutely nothing is going to happen. But at some point, those troops need to get deployed, guys. At some point, this coalition of the willing need to get on the ground. Remember, guys, okay, a ceasefire is not synonymous. A ceasefire is not synonymous with ending the war. You can have a ceasefire for a couple of days and then continue the war. So I think what's going to happen at some point, and I don't see it in the next couple of weeks. But at some point, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have a ceasefire. The coalition's going to go in, and then the fighting's going to start, and then the ceasefire are going to come, and then and then it's just going to be a war. Then taxes, ladies and gentlemen, more taxes are coming, and more taxes are coming, and the more people are taxed, the less money the government get, so the more they have to tax people. Ladies and gentlemen, you know how they said they're not going to tax working people? I believe it's coming, and we'll see a situation where Angela Rayner, I want to say it's going to be Angela Rayner, she'll be doing an interview, and somebody will say to her, Angela, in your manifesto, you said you weren't going to tax the working people, but now you're taxing the working people. And Angela Rayner is going to say something to the words effect that, well, we weren't going to tax working people, but it were all them millionaires, and they just kept running off not wanting to pay taxes. So now we've got to tax them. We've got to tax working people and then people who can't run away, because everybody who's ran away has ran away. And that 22 billion black hole, we've actually turned that into a 500 billion black hole. Of course, we're proper rate good, us at money and stuff. We're rate good. Like, we're going to get something like that. Remember, guys, I told you guys yesterday morning the outcome of the. I told you guys yesterday morning what would happen with the Trump-Zelensky Keir Starmer meeting. I mean, I don't know, guys. Did I get it word for word right? What they would say when they came out of the meeting? We've had a great meeting. We've came to a lot of agreements. I need to speak to Vladimir Putin, and that's literally it. That's all that's happened. You look at the front line in Ukraine, guys. Okay, drone attacks, missile attacks, artillery attacks. Literal trench warfare, guys. This war is old men talking and young men transcending themselves to beam of light. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this down now. I've got a Lalande. I need to go and collect. I hope it's cut into relatively small pieces, because some of these Lalandes that people cut, they're in massive pieces, and they're really heavy. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back on at 8. If you can, do me a real big favor, guys, okay? If there's any of you guys that see or hear of burst water pipes, can you guys send me a message and let me know? Because I did hear quite, like today on the live stream, guys, there's been quite a lot of people talking about burst water pipes. So, you know, I don't know if this is like a coordinated attack. It's certainly the government won't agree it's a coordinated attack. But if there's multiple burst water pipes all over the country, I would say it's a coordinated attack. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you at 8 or just before.